with CJ Hurt. The first hour of the experience is brought to you by Lads for your zero-turn mower and golf car needs. Now, here are your hosts, Peter and CJ.
Okay.
Whoa! Yeah! Welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. I am Peter Edmiston. He is CJ Hurt. Our man, 2% on the other side of the glass.
Is not over.
Is not on the other side of the glass. It is instead our friend, Almond Milk.
Almond Milk, what's up?
I'm just glad to finally have a nickname. I've never had a nickname. So,
Well,
my dad called me Junebug when I was young. That didn't really count.
Yeah, we're not going. With respect to your dad, we'll leave that to him.
And it's already a Junebug here, so like it can't be two Junebugs because
Junebug here.
Mom's calls me Junebug. Like what we had this conversation.
Oh, that's right.
Is your birthday in June?
Huh?
Is your birthday in June?
No, I'm a junior.
Oh, a June. See, my birthday's in June. That's where it came from.
See, it's a different type of Junebug. Then you're June. I'm Jun. Okay.
It's
right.
Junebug.
70338. Done with you.
Junebug.
I'm done with you.
All right, you could be Junebug and you could be Junebug. That's fine. We can make this work. I am Peter Edmiston, and not Junebug at all. I'm the only non-Junebug here, apparently. So that's all right. I'll live with that. But no, he's Almond Milk. He's Austin Eldridge. He's in for 2%. Old Max, who was away on vacation, and I appreciate Max texting me yesterday to tell me he's on vacation at like 3 p.m. after the show's over. He's like, I thought I told you I was gonna. Well, no, you didn't, but that's fine. That's no problem.
You know, he didn't even text me. He did not bother to text me. Well, so at least you got a text.
At least I got a text. Okay. All right,
although
I guess it's a good thing I showed up.
I guess so. Yeah. That's all 2%. Just living that 2% life. He just whatever happens. Today, scattered showers throughout the area, and I do mean scattered. That means like, hey, you know what? I'm on this block. It's raining. Next block might not be raining.
Those are interesting showers. I like stepping out because it'll be
you never know
one half of that block raining while the other half is bright and sunny. You can just look over and say, "Wow,
that's weird."
This is the end of the rain cloud. That is odd.
It's weird. See, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be like that all day. So make sure you got your rain gear with you. Make sure you got your slickers. Make sure you got your ponchos, your rain boots, your rain gloves, your rain hats, your rain glasses, your rain mask, your
rain gloves,
your rain
socks,
galoshes,
drawers,
as you like to say, your rain drawers. Absolutely,
yes,
absolutely. You got to always have your rain drawers. You never know, when. Well, anyway, I'm not going to finish that sentence, but you always got to make sure.
Got to have the kangaroo pouch in the rain drawers also, because apparently that is a thing we're doing with our underwear now.
Sure, why wouldn't we? So all that's all today. Be careful out there. And then coming up later on tonight, same kind of thing. Be that way all day, really for the next couple of days. As a matter of fact, as we approach the NBA draft, we'll talk a lot more about the draft coming up. Then we're going to talk about Mike Conley and a potential Mike Conley trade. Omari Sankofa, my colleague from The Athletic, will join us 8 o'clock. He's been working that with Tony Jones of The Athletic in Utah. Talking about a potential Mike Conley trade to Utah. We'll discuss that. We'll discuss where else he could go, where he should go, what do you want to see? And that's where you come in, because we'd love to talk to you about that at 67129er on the old walkie-talkie. You want to send on the First Bank walkie-talkie? We need the First Bank walkie-talkie.
We do need the First Bank.
Hey, everybody. Breaker. 67129 on the First Bank text line. Go ahead and fire off those texts. If you haven't joined the text team, make sure you do that first. 56 join. Text 56 join to 67129. Do it once, then you are locked and loaded, and you can also do it again. You can save us as a contact. But 67129 is the number. You can also dial us up at 360-8255, where you will talk to Austin, and you better be good. Austin is not gonna mess with you. He's doing military stuff now. He's not taking any garbage from you. He's like a drill sergeant over there. If you come in and you start trying to mess around, I mean, he will fire off at you.
Put you in the front leaning rest.
Exactly.
As we call the push-up position.
There you go. He'll do that. He'll drop and give me 20. Listen, maggot, get over there.
Whoa. Let's not be calling people names now. That's not nice.
Are you drill sergeant or not? I mean, you got to get the best out of your people.
I can't claim that, unfortunately.
Almond milk. You're giving up your gimmick. Come on.
If I say I'm a drill sergeant, there's liable to be a drill sergeant show up behind me out of nowhere, and that would be bad.
I got you.
Well, that's true. That is true. You don't want.
Don't send them out like that.
You don't want that. That's a good point. So I remember. Actually, I really get most of my drill sergeant work from Sergeant Slaughter.
No,
of WWE fame, where he used to call everybody maggots, and that's why anytime I think of drill sergeant, that's all I think of.
Major Payne called them turds, and then they got promoted to maggots by the end of the movie. So that is my drill sergeant.
Major Payne is a movie that is properly rated.
Is it 5 stars? How many stars?
No.
I love Major Payne.
Not that kind of rating.
No. It is properly appreciated as a kind of funny movie, but not one that you would really rush out to go watch again.
Oh, you're outside of your mind.
Yeah, that's about right.
No. I watch Major Payne like 7-8 times a year.
That's
every year.
There's no way.
Because it at one point in time was on the Netflix, and so I was
that good.
Yes, you hadn't seen it.
I don't think I've seen it. I know.
You got to go see Major Payne.
I actually
you do not have to go see it.
I played a golf with a buddy this weekend, and he asked me if I'd seen Major Payne. And I said no, and he about hit me with his golf club.
You've got to go see Major Payne. You've got to go find it on DVD or VHS and watch it. Go watch it. It's great.
It's not on Netflix anymore.
No, not anymore. They took it
They
off.
keep taking stuff off. It's not right.
This is an interesting time in the streaming world. So they're shelling out all this money to keep shows like Friends around while also having Disney come in and take a bunch of shows off. And
plus all their Netflix originals they've got now.
And the originals also they got to pay for. They can't afford to pay for everything.
Well, I'm still confused. So you're playing golf, and all of a sudden, it's like, man, have you seen Major Payne?
Well, no, the conversation came up some other way, but
before I putt this putt, have you seen Major Payne? Let's just talk about this for a second.
I mean, that's how I bring up Major Payne in conversation.
Just by the way, you seen Major Payne?
Golf is known for random conversations at times.
All right, so that would be random. There's no question about that.
33% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That sounds about right. That's about right.
I disagree.
All right, so whatever you do today in your life, and you may do any number of things, you will not have as much fun as Marcus Gasol did yesterday.
No.
Whatever it is that you do in your life, and I don't care what it is. I don't care what you do. I don't care who's involved. It doesn't matter.
Mm-mm.
You are not capable of having as much fun as Marcus Gasol did yesterday at the historic Toronto parade. The Raptors as champions. There was a scary incident involving gunfire at one point in the parade. 4 gunshots were fired. A few people suffered injuries. I think a lady was shot and suffered non-lethal, and actually apparently not terribly serious injuries, all things considered. So that was scary. But otherwise, it was a crazy, unbelievable festival of humanity. 1.5 million people. And it looked like 1.5 million people. That's what 1.5 million people look like. I know we've had some crowd estimate issues in the past with some of our public officials, some concerns about the legitimacy of crowds. If ever you wondered what a truly large crowd looked like, that was it.
That was
there was no
and Marc Gasol was
in the crowd,
working the crowd
crazy
all day long. The whole parade, Marc Gasol was just up there getting it.
I mean, just getting drunk beyond his wildest expectations.
Remaining.
Well, I mean, you got to get there first, and then he was just continuing to hit it hard. I mean, my man is chugging wine, and Mark is a wine connoisseur, no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
The guy has a significant wine collection. He loves Spanish wines to begin with, but to watch him chug what appeared to be, I think it was like a rosé or something. It wasn't like a Spanish red or anything. I can't imagine you chugging a red wine, but
no, you got to save
it looked like it could have. I could have thought it might have been a Boone's Farm situation, but I don't know that they have Boone's Farm in Toronto.
He's Marc Gasol. He's got the money to get that up there.
You got some Boone's Farm up there?
He can get Boone's Farm up there. He can get
strawberry wine.
Yes.
You got some. Mm-hmm.
Yep. He can get it up there.
When I was a youngster, that was one of my first forays into the game.
No, I was like grown before I had my first sip of wine.
Well, Boone's Farm isn't really.
I understand. I understand.
Wine,
but even before
per se,
before I had the Boone's wine, it was.
I prefer it's more of a malted beverage. Honestly, it's not malt liquor, obviously, but it's close. It's some kind of a malted wine deal. I don't know. But he's chugging whatever this is. He's chugging this thing. He's an entire 750 milliliter bottle. He's chugging the whole deal.
Take that, Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, it was, and then he's chugging beers on top of that. He's like on the top of this bus, and he's just threatening to fall out at every. He's got guys.
People are reaching out to grab him.
He's got guys holding his shirt all throughout the parade route because he's just. Ole, 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 ole. And he's getting the crowd. He's like, shh, 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 shh. And then, I mean, their videos just all over social media. Every fan in Toronto took their shot of Mark just chugging beer and
wine.
Hammered. And then on stage, you could just see like there's some shot where he's just so drunk. I mean, he just looks like he's just about out, but then he keeps going. Like incredible stamina. Because that parade took like 10 hours. That was the longest parade I've ever seen.
That is why you bring him up there for his world-class parade celebration techniques.
But who knew?
The stamina.
But who knew? We never knew. We never get a chance here, obviously, to find out. But I mean, this dude is. You're talking an elite parade guy.
Yes,
elite. This is next level stuff right here. We're talking banging on the side of the thing. We're talking about he hit his head on the back of a tree limb. He's standing up, and wham! The tree limb comes in, and he almost fell off again. But somebody's holding him up. It's amazing the guy didn't fall. Just truly the parade MVP. Lost his damn mind.
Now I want to, because this is where my mind went. These are dudes Mark. He knows Ibaka professionally. They play on the same Spanish team. They're probably friendly. But there was something different about that Grizzlies team, especially that core group, where it felt like they were genuine friends. I want to know what the turn up would have been like had they got a championship, right? Because it doesn't. Marc Gasol doing that in Toronto, I think pales in comparison to what he would have done in Memphis, surrounded by Zach Randolph, Tony Allen, and Mike Conley.
I don't know. I don't. It's a good question because there's no way. Seeing that parade, like, there's no way that we could get that many people in Memphis anyway. Not possible. That would be what you saw there would have been the entire population of this entire area, not just the city, but the metro. Everyone all crammed downtown at one time. Would be impossible. I don't even know where you would park, where you would. I can't even imagine the logistics of getting that many people down. I can't. It's making my skin crawl thinking about where to park. You have to park like 10 miles away and, somehow meander your way downtown. I don't know. But I do know that, it would have been different seeing those guys celebrate. I think it would have been a different kind of celebration, but would he have been that drunk? I don't know. Again, I think it's impossible for him to have been any drunker.
Really?
I really don't think apart other than him throwing up like into the crowd. You have to mind yourself a little bit, carefully there. You can easily take that turn, but I don't know how you get that drunk while you're on a moving vehicle anyway. I mean, that seems like
just bad idea.
Yeah, but he's, what? He didn't, as far as I know, he didn't throw up on anybody or anywhere else.
There have been no reports of that.
So,
and I'm pretty
credit
sure
to the big man.
You're saying he got there and proceeded to then get hammered. I think he showed up that way. No telling, because like you brought it up yesterday. I've been drinking.
I mean, maybe. I mean, you could. That's certainly within the realm of possibility. But just remember, I mean, this parade started at like 9 a.m. I mean, you really, you'd have to be like breakfast. I mean, which is again not unheard of, but
I mean that is what I do when I go to parades.
But I would say ultimately, like, knowing that you're going to have access to beer and wine all day long at any point, as much as you want, whenever you want. you don't. I don't know that you need to pregame. I think you're ready to roll. And it didn't take him long to get into the spirit of things. It was. I mean, really, honestly, it was a tremendous amount of fun to watch. Although my man Matt Devlin, really, former Grizzly announcer and now a Raptor announcer, who was doing the MC thing on stage when they were doing the deal. He did not let Mark speak. Every other player spoke except Mark, which I don't know if he was they just told him like, look, he's too drunk. He can't talk. It's better. Speaking of which, let's hit that.
Yes.
Let's hit that music this morning. We got a theme song for this morning.
I think I got the number, Gloria. I think they got aliens.
Yeah. I still think Brett Hull. I think Brett just edges out Mark. I think he just edges him out in the drunkest parade performance. I think we're right. It's neck and neck. It's close. It's close.
I think it's only close because Brett Hull spoke. If Mark had an opportunity to speak, I don't know if it would be close. Marc Gasol at one point is hanging, all 7 feet of him is hanging over the edge of the bus as it is moving, and he is slapping it. He is almost on the ground. That is how long he is, and he's just beating on the bus and has to have people holding on to him to keep him from flipping out. That is, you got to be feeling pretty damn good to do something like that.
I feel like Brett Hull would have probably been right there too if he was on a bus, though.
It's true. I mean, yeah. I really think it's neck and neck. I agree with you. I mean, Mark was the MVP of that parade, no doubt about it. And if he had spoken, I mean, maybe he would have busted out some. But again, I don't think Mark's voice could never be that raspy and just just epic drunk. I just don't think. I don't think he can get there. Maybe be super slurred. That would be fun.
Dre, we got the chip and the dip.
But let me tell you, and you brought up. I'm glad you brought up Drake, because very disappointing performance from Drake at the. I think he was. To his credit, and in his defense, I think he was somewhat affected by the shooting that had happened, and everyone was a little, uneasy. So I think, I heard tell that maybe he cut it short and that he was going to perform or do something like that, but instead he just kind of meandered around there, and it wasn't very good at all.
Okay.
He didn't even mention chips or dip or anything. He did make fun of Matt Devlin, which was kind of funny. He said, "Thanks, Ron Burgundy," from the Channel 4 news team, which is a little disrespectful, but but fine. But no chips, no dip. And Devlin even made fun. He's like, "Hey, he's got the chips. He wants the dip. He's Drake."
He didn't have a chips and dip shirt.
Nope, no chips, no dip. They didn't mention chips and dip.
I didn't see any bootleg chips and dip T-shirts running around there.
I mean, I hope that never catches on. I can't imagine that it would.
I hope it does. All the dumb things that catch on, that can catch on. I am okay with that one catching on. We're going to say that from now on. Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt featuring almond milk on the other side. We got the chips and the dip.
We're not chip, you dip, we chip. I don't know. I was disappointed. I really was disappointed in that. Dan is dialed up for the first time, and somebody wants to talk about Brett Hull on the show, and this is beautiful. I always appreciate that. Dan, good morning. How are you?
You can tell I'm a hockey fan, but I can't help that. I grew up in Chicago.
God bless you, Dan. That's okay.
But you know what? There's no comparison to what hockey players will do versus any other athlete, any sport.
Well, I mean, Ovechkin still holds the title for the drunkest championship celebration ever. He was drunk for like 2 weeks straight.
And he's hard to look at when he's sober, for God's sake. That's an ugly drunk.
That is.
You threw me off my game. I got that mental picture now.
Oh yeah. He's
All right,
brutal.
guys.
Dan,
Yeah, have a good
you're the man. I saw the guys. Like I said, find those videos in Vegas of the Blues players celebrating at the club in one of those nightclubs in Vegas. God knows which one, but they were exceptionally hammered, and hockey players do throw down on an epic scale.
Yeah,
and it tends to be more of a I would say like more of a destructive drunk, maybe. They tend to be more wild and jumping around and dancing. I think you get a little bit more of the chill drunk usually on the basketball side.
Well, you don't want to do anything goofy, right? You still got a reputation to maintain at the NBA
maybe that's
level.
what it is.
And you don't want to get checked into oblivion because you're Draymond Green with the glasses on. Yep. Nope. Did they beat us? Nope. Like, what are you doing, Draymond?
I'm not checking anybody. I'm not checking anybody. When you're happy, I'm happy.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I'm not gonna like, you know.
You don't want to be, what's my man's name?
Even Brett Hull, like we're making, but I mean, like, I'm happy for the guy. He seems like he's having a good time. Like, you know, it's
what's the name of the Lakers won. They had the
Mark Madsen.
There we go. See, I didn't even have to finish it. Right. We talked so bad about Mark up there dancing.
I never did.
We as a society.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, I definitely did. Yeah, I definitely had some thoughts on the shooking and jiving up there.
But my man's just living. He's living his best life. He's having fun up there. Come on. Just like Mark, he's living his best life. We'll come back. We're going to talk about the trade situation that is heating up for the Memphis Grizzlies potentially. That's what our friend Shams Sharania says, and others that there is some potential for a trade of Mike Conley prior to the draft. We'll discuss all of that, and that'll be a big topic of discussion here on the program. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Lots more to get to here as we're just getting started on a Tuesday here in the Family Leisure Studios. Real Sports Talk Sports 56, 87.7 FM.
From Penny, the Tiger player.
I think it's just Anthony Hardaway this and Anthony Hardaway that, but we have just more than one player on the team.
Through Penny, the Tiger coach.
Well, I think the main game plan is we can teach you. We're going to develop you. We're going to get you better.
For over 25 years, we have been real sports talk for Memphis in the Mid-South. Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
Hey guys, time to get ready for summer. Now, if you've done your part at the gym, it's time to let University Plastic Surgery Group help you with that little extra push. It's called Cool Sculpting. You can freeze away the fat with the world's #1 non-invasive fat reduction procedure. University Plastic Surgery Group can help you achieve your workout goals because they're going to target the trouble areas. It's a 45 to 60-minute procedure. You can do it on your lunch hour. Keep your edge at work and look good this summer. Call 350-4858 or visit utuniversityplasticsurgeons.com today.
Hi, folks. Rob Walker, Infinity of Memphis, and we've got a new Infinity crossover vehicle that has raised the standard of comparison to a new level. Imagine having both sports car performance and eco-friendly efficiency on demand, working together to empower every driving experience. The result of 20 years of engineering, QX50's award-winning variable compression turbo engine is the world's only engine of its kind. Like two engines in one, it delivers a combination of power and efficiency that is truly in a category all its own. And only Infinity has it. You'll never sacrifice performance for the sake of efficiency again. And the new QX50 offers more horsepower than its Audi, Lexus, and Mercedes competitors. Add to that QX50's award-winning sumptuous interior, and you have the best combination of performance and comfort in the mid-size crossover segment.
Infinity of Memphis, and online at infinityofmemphis.com.
Just the other day, I stumbled across an incredible full-service paint store, Memphis Paints, Benjamin Moore store, located on the corner of Mendenhall and Poplar. I learned how to choose the perfect color from their very helpful staff. Benjamin Moore paints are cut above other paints, high-quality paints that last for years and are easy to clean. Memphis Paints has the largest selection of colors on your palette. So whether you're painting walls, bricks, or concrete, let Memphis Paints and Benjamin Moore help you make the change. Located 699 South Mendenhall. Call today Memphis Paints and Benjamin Moore at 901-683-7369.
Did you know Davis Motorhome Mart is one of the top 10 Tiffin dealers in the U.S.? Come tour the 7.5 acres of beautiful travel trailers, motorhomes, fifth wheels, and toy hauler towables half-tons. Motorhomes from 27 feet up to 45 feet from brands like Winnebago, Coachman, Puma, Highland Ridge, and Tiffin. Take advantage of Davis Motorhome Mart's big blowout sale on 2019s and 2020s on their way. Stop by your gateway to travel freedom. Davis Motorhome Mart at 1145 East Brooks Road in Memphis. Call 901-332-3414 and cruise by the website davismotorhomes.com.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129.
Campbell Clinic now offers daytime walk-in care, and you don't need an appointment. If you've got any kind of urgent break, sprain, strain, you can walk into any of their 5 convenient locations Monday through Friday from 8 until 4. There's no long wait you have to put up with the ER, and those doctors are really good, but they're not orthopedists. They're not world-renowned orthopedists who have come up with different procedures and written the manuals for them that are used everywhere in the world, and I'm not kidding you. And you can now see those doctors who treat the Tigers, the Grizzlies, the Redbirds. You can see them today without an appointment. And I'm talking Collierville, Germantown, South Haven, downtown at the Med Center, or even the Campbell Clinic Spine Center in Cordova. Now, if you've got something pressing, you got to go to work and you can bear the pain until the evening, there's Campbell Clinic After Hours. That's Monday through Thursday from 5 to 8 in Germantown, South Haven, even Saturday morning in Germantown. If you're injured, don't wait. Visit Campbell Clinic Walk-In Care or Campbell Clinic After Hours.
Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ. This hour is brought to you by Lads for your zero-turn mower and golf car needs. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Not sure this qualifies as soft rock. I'm going to be honest with you.
Does it not?
It's a lovely song. It's a little more modern-y kind of for a soft rock. That's like it's like a 90s song.
So you're saying soft rock is dead,
right?
So it's got to be an oldie.
I think soft. I mean, I don't know. I'm not part of the music classification society.
We got to ask JB.
I'll be honest with you. I just found that song on a playlist. So
but see, this is where these playlists
are
problematic. We've determined this with Max. This has been a ongoing process. It's very problematic. You gotta the essence of what this genre is. I think the soft rock is there's a 70s, there's a 60s, 70s, 80s kind of thing. And that, I guess some selective 90s, but
So you're saying like Boston would qualify, or is that more of a regular rock?
Maybe there's some Boston songs that probably would qualify. I mean, you're talking like your classics, your giants of the genre, your Hall & Oates, your Air Supplies, those are that's where you're really getting into the soft rock.
The Eagles, maybe.
I mean, again, maybe, but they're more classic rock, I would say, as opposed to soft rock. They have there's a certain song like Peter Cetera, a lot of Chicago, what they're up to, certainly.
Okay.
In the mix there, no doubt about it. I mean, there's like some
I got you.
John Denver, a little bit of John Denver kind of thing. Definitely some Seals and Crofts, some
So I'm just not familiar with a lot of these
England
groups. So got to do a
and-
little research.
John Ford Coley. You got some,
Apparently, just come ask Peter because
I need Peter on this side of the glass.
He's been rattling off soft rock artists for 5 minutes.
Soft rock. That's my jam. Soft
Peter
rock
needs to run the Tuesday show from this side.
And Peebo is qualified. Peebo qualifies. As
we played a lot of
soft rock.
Peebo.
Yeah.
How many damn songs does Peebo have?
Heat Wave could be soft rock.
Haven't we done Heat Wave?
I don't think we've done Always and Forever. Always and Forever is
We
a
have
classic
not done
soft rock.
Always and Forever.
You got to throw that in. Always and Forever.
Is that soft rock? That's not R&B.
That's probably it could be both. But I think it would play on soft rock because it's kind of smooth.
Okay.
There's a spectrum here of soft rock, smooth, jam, and R&B. You can slide fluidly on there.
Okay, I did not realize that. I'm gonna have to hear it with the thought of soft rock. I'm gonna have to hear Always and Forever.
James Ingram.
James Ingram.
I mean, again,
okay,
could be smooth, but also soft, depending on you can go either way with that.
Okay,
there's some of the guys that kind of they can straddle the mix.
Okay. See, I didn't know that smooth R&B and soft rock were that close. I didn't know they were
70s, 80s.
See, I would definitely qualify this song as smooth R&B.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, like,
always and forever.
There's definitely like in that, especially in the 70s, 80s, like same thing with like there's some country songs, classic country that kind of slide into that soft rock. Soft rock is, I would say it's, to me at least, I don't know. Maybe it's because of my age, but I feel like soft rock connotes a certain, 70s, 80s, especially vibe of all different types of music.
Now, is Gloria soft rock? There's the question.
That I thought Gloria was.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Gloria is. You could probably get away with it. Yeah,
okay.
I mean, I would consider that more just classic 80s, just in general, like just 80s. Put that 80s stamp on it. There's some songs that just like 80s, and like what are they? 80s. That's what they are. Right?
Okay.
Let's not get any further than that. But in a pinch, sure. I mean, that's not like what you played is not soft rock. It's not what
I figured a band called the Cranberries must be soft rock.
You never heard of the Cranberries?
I've heard the name, so I thought they were like.
I mean, the Cranberries were rock,
band.
were like 90s rock. They were rock. They have like rockish alternative, you would say.
Okay.
So maybe they could glide into there, but it's more, the Cranberries are more, they did some more rock type stuff.
See, that is the neighbor I always thought of soft rock was alternative rock. And
well, technically Coldplay is considered alternative rock, and I don't know what they would fall under.
Coldplay is definitely.
So yeah, I think that's rock. I guess that does fit the Cranberries.
Yeah. So we're talking about the Mike Conley situation, and there's some intensifying rumors, intensifying storms on the horizon. Texter says REO Speedwagon. That's exactly right. Yes, REO Speedwagon, classic of the genre. There's some intensifying storms potentially involving Mike Conley. We discussed this yesterday because it certainly made a lot of sense to me that you would want to try to get this deal done if you can, and if it's going to involve a draft pick, you'd rather go ahead and get it done prior to the draft as opposed to then trying to figure out and clean up afterwards. You want to at least be in control of that pick. And if you think there's something worth doing in this draft class, then this is the time to go ahead and do it. And there may be other teams that actually, want to go ahead and get it done for their own reasons anyway, prior to the draft. So I always expected that you would get a little more activity around this time. And it does seem that is the case, that the discussions around Mike Conley have started to swirl a little bit more. Most notably, according to Shams Charania of The Athletic, focused on Utah. And the Utah Jazz have had a long-standing interest in Mike Conley. They certainly tried to get a deal done prior to the deadline, didn't quite ever make it happen. Now it is a little bit easier because the money can be, there's a couple different ways the money can be manipulated, and it makes it simpler to go ahead and do the deal for Mike Conley. So the Jazz are back in the mix. Now, for me, CJ, I looked over this stuff a lot last night, and I will just tell you, to give you the my personal headline on the deal, I just personally do not think that there is a deal that makes sense for the Grizzlies and makes sense for the Jazz and fits the Grizzlies criteria going forward. I just don't see, based on what seems logical to me, that deal does not really exist in my mind. Now, again, this is for what I think the Grizzlies should be doing moving forward, or what seems logical to me. Obviously, the front office may have a different approach, and that may change the way they view trades. Trades are, in the eye of the beholder to many respects. But am I wrong in saying that if the Grizzlies trade Mike Conley, should the priority not be a rebuild?
No, that is 100% correct. You already got a great young piece in Jaren Jackson Jr. here, and you got the number 2 overall pick. Rebuild. The decision to move Mike Conley, get a young piece to pair with them, and hopefully a draft pick. Like in the first round, I would try and angle it for a first rounder in next year's draft, a draft that, because this draft isn't as deep as other drafts have been, or that next year's draft will possibly be. So come out with 2 first-rounders next year.
So I just really I don't get. So if that's the case, if you're talking about a potential, you're trading Mike Conley, and again, I'm with you. I don't understand the idea that you would trade Mike Conley and have the chief return in that trade be a current player that would be, ready for you to go ahead and try to get back into contention like ASAP. That doesn't make any sense to me.
No,
because you're not going to. You will not get back in contention. We talked about this yesterday. How widespread now the talent could be in the entire NBA, and obviously in the West. You have, if you go up and down the list, it's just really hard for you to see the Grizzlies jumping back to the playoffs that quickly, barring huge progress from young players very, very quickly. And that really shouldn't be a priority anyway. I mean, you're trying to build something that's sustainable. Remember, the Grizzlies they're down at least 1 draft pick. They have, over the next 2 years, well, let's count this year and then the next 2 after that. 19, 20, 21. The Grizzlies have the number 2 pick this year in the draft. Next year, their pick is Boston's unless it stays in the top 6. After that, it's gone. So one of the next 2 years, you're not going to have a first-round draft pick. Okay. You don't have any second-round picks. 0. Squadoosh. You got to get, for a team that's trying to rebuild, theoretically, you have got to get draft capital back. That is the most efficient way to rebuild. That is the most steady, a guaranteed way that you can get it done is via the draft. You need to get that back. That needs to be a priority in my mind. So with the Utah deal, what they've got the number 23 pick in the draft this year.
Okay.
Whoopity-doo.
Yeah.
Bad draft, number 23 in a, that doesn't hold a lot of weight in my mind. You obviously they're going to have a pick next year, but if you send them Mike Conley, chances are they got Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, pretty good core. That's probably going to be a bad pick also, or at least a low first round pick. So I'm not really that jazzed, so to speak, about that particular return.
I see what you did.
And then with regard to, so then you would have to like make up for that and say, okay, well, if you can't send me draft picks, can you send me young players that are talented that could be part of my rebuild that I could build around? Can you send me? I would want 2 of impact picks, impact young players. So you can give me 2 good picks and no players. You can give me 2 good players and no picks. You can give me 1 of each but that I'm looking, that's my baseline for what I want. I don't see that from Utah. I don't see Utah. I don't see where that is. Don't sell me Grayson Allen. Come on. Dante Exum is already overpaid and hurt all the time and hasn't proven anything in the league. The theory of Dante Exum is great. The actuality of Dante Exum is not so great. Who else are we talking about? Royce O'Neal? Who are we talking about? Who's out there? I mean, Derek Favors. Derek Favors is not a positive in my mind. It's a guy that's going to that positionally is similar to what you're talking about with Jonas Valanciunas. Like, where do you play him? And then if you bring him in, then are you going to bring Valanciunas back? Now you're probably foreclosing Valanciunas, and then you're back in the same boat, and he's going to be a free. I don't get. That's a 1-year deal for what? You trying to win? I mean, he's a good player, but are you trying to win? Are you really trying to win next year? Like maximize that? So I don't see that as a big positive in the trade either. I don't know what they could. To me, I don't know what they put together. I don't see it as a particularly appealing situation.
And that is the issue that the Grizzlies have now. It is, we've got this piece, and you're right. They should be thinking young player and picks, right? That is what they should be thinking. And if a team, just because they want to make a trade, just because they're offering you decent pieces, right? Like it's not like what the Jazz could offer is horrible, but they don't fit your timeline. They don't fit the timetable of when you expect to be really good with Jaren Jackson Jr. and John Morant, or whoever the number 2 overall pick is. Then you can't make the trade. you shouldn't make that trade. Not when teams like Indiana are still out there searching. You still want to see what's going to happen with the teams in New York, LA, and the team in Boston to see, like, okay, they're all not going to get all of these top tier free agents. The ones that miss on those guys, they'll have something to offer us. Let's wait and see with them what we can do. Right? So I don't understand. I wouldn't understand a trade being made right now for the Jazz as is, but maybe if they got a third team involved, a team that had some of these young players that the Grizzlies want, that covet somebody on the Jazz, or some of the picks that the Grizzlies would be able to use, some of those early round picks, some of those, not early round, but early picks in the first round, those impactful picks, some of those, maybe then a deal can get gunned to send Conley to the Jazz with the Grizzlies getting something. But I don't see how a trade gets done with the Jazz that doesn't involve a third team, because they just don't have what the Grizzlies should want on their roster or in their hand as far as assets go.
Well, again, this is where you have to find the right partner for a trade and all of that. But I think based on what is being discussed out there and what teams are looking for, and the lack of there are a few factors again that we talked about working in the Grizzlies' favor with regard to Mike Conley. One of them is the fact that with the Warriors taking significant hits potentially, even if they bring their guys back, they're going to be a long way from themselves next year. Mm-hmm. The league is now much more open, mm-hmm. and that means teams have incentive to go and push all the chips in the middle of the table, and that helps when you've got a guy in Mike Conley that's a veteran. He's got 2 years left on his deal, theoretically at least. Now he's got an early termination option for next year, meaning he could opt out of next year if he really didn't like it. That's you're giving up $33 or so million to do that, but he could in theory he could do that. That might slightly concern some teams, but I don't think so. That you should. My point is that if you're going to trade with Utah, I need those picks to be pushed back. Mm-hmm. I need you to give me 2022.
Yep.
I need you to give me 2023. I need you to not protect those picks. I need to have a chance at the lottery. I need to have the chance that Utah's core group fades. I need the chance that Rudy Gobert leaves in free agency in 2021 offseason. I need that chance. Not saying it will, but to me, there's no chance that the Utah pick, obviously, this year it's not. It's 23. Next year, likely to be similar. 2021, you probably in that same boat, most likely. They'd have to re-sign Conley, whatever, but that's 2021 I'm a little more interested in. 2022 is also that double draft year, mm-hmm. So you got what should be an even more loaded group. You give me 2022, okay, now we can talk. Now that's a much more interesting proposition to me going forward. That's much more interesting. And if you can give me 2 after that, then hey, all the better. Wonderful. Whether I don't think they clearly don't want to do that. So,
I mean, why clearly though? Right?
Because that's one that could potentially go real squirrely. Teams do not like to give away picks that far out for any reason, unless it's an Anthony Davis situation where it's like an obvious. Mike Conley's not Anthony Davis.
But if you're the Jazz, you got to be looking around and say, with a core that is Mitchell and Gobert and Conley, with what we have, we could win the Western Conference like this year. So why does it matter what the pick is in 2022, 2023? We'll deal with that in 2022, 2023.
I mean, again, I think that's that's for them to decide as far as their risk tolerance and how far they go. But the teams are becoming a little more open to that. So I mean, I wouldn't rule that out. But if I'm the Grizzlies, that's what I'm asking for. I'm not. If you want to do a deal with Utah, I need you to push that pick back. I need some chance that pick's going to end up in the lottery. I need some chance that's going to end up being a good pick and not just a mediocre to bad pick. And that's where they are right now. If that's what they're looking to do. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about some other suitors that are out there. We're going to talk to Amari Sankofa of The Athletic at 8 o'clock about this and many other things. We'll be doing a lot on this throughout the day. You want to get in? I'd love to hear your opinion. Should the Grizzlies trade Mike Conley to Utah? Where do you want to see him go? 67129 on the First Bank text line, or you can dial us up at 360-8255. Back after this, Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7 FM.
Spend your lunch with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 middays, delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 to 1 on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
Upon official review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
We deliver jerseys, funny foam fingers, and everything you need to get ready for the game. But what you really get when FedEx knocks on your door is so much more.
FedEx Delivery.
Game day spirit. What we deliver by delivering.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Soulfish Cafe has done something that no other business in the history of Memphis has ever done. They won 3 different categories in the Memphis Most. They won it for the best catfish. We all know that's the best catfish, and you can get it fried like everybody does, or you could get it, if you wanted to, grilled or blackened. It's the best. Everybody says it. Then there's seafood. We know about their beautiful shrimp. You can get those fried. You can get them grilled. The shrimp tacos are terrific. Memphis Most, best seafood. Then there's soul food. Yes, a 3rd category, soul food. Their veggies are unbelievable. They've got this sauerkraut sausage Cajun dish that is amazing. I love the cucumber salad. Everything is always so fresh. And now, you know, there's 3 locations with a 4th one coming to Wolf Chase soon. The original Cooper Young, the shops of Forest Hill Irene, and of course the newest in East Memphis. That's on Poplar, just east of Perkins in the old Wolf Cameron location. They're the best. You said it. They're Soulfish.
Let's up your life with Let's.
Experience the difference of a Spartan mower. Spartan not only looks amazing on and off the lawn, it's packed with standard features like GT Track for precision traction, balance, and control, with optional features like radial front tires and an all-new 360 floating seat system for an incredibly comfortable ride. Lads, for your zero-turn and golf car needs.
Let's up your life with Let's. Let's up your life.
Gun enthusiasts in the Mid-South know all about guns and ammo at 3615 Summer and 577 Goodman Road, Suite 4 at the corner of Goodman and Elmore in South Haven, because they carry the largest selection of both guns and ammo in the area. They are authorized dealers of Colt, Benelli, CZ, Smith & Wesson, Glock, Ruger, Sig Sauer, Bergara, and a lot more. If you or someone you know is looking for something for self-defense, competition, hunting, or just something that goes boom, then get to Guns and Ammo, 3615 Summer in Memphis and 577 Goodman Road, Suite 4 at the corner of Goodman and Elmore in South Haven.
The forensic analyst searched for clues to the house fire.
Could that be
Starch? Suddenly it came together. The fire was started by
an over-microwaved potato?
Covered, July 25th, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Lads for your zero-turn mower and golf car needs. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Baby hair.
Yeah. Here we go.
With a woman's eyes.
Does this qualify?
Yeah.
I get what you're saying here.
Yeah.
Because this can be R&B also. I see the line. I see the line.
Yeah. It just slides. As needed. It can be either way.
Hey, you don't turn that down. You keep that. Yes.
Yeah, come on now.
I had my first girlfriend.
Try not to get old Warner music after it.
Yeah. I get you. The first girlfriend her name was Sarah. And so, like, this is
good memories or bad memories?
Good memomes.
Good memories. Come on.
First girlfriend? Like, yeah. What's
Played a
bad
little bit
about
of this
that?
at that wedding the other day.
They play Sarah Smile?
Because her name was Sarah.
Smile.
Yep.
Yes.
See?
Also was in Boondocks when Tom tried to fight Usher, which is great.
I heard that old Aaron's bringing Boondocks back.
Aaron, Boondocks is coming back, and Aaron is on it. Like Boondocks.
Yeah.
Because seasons 3 and 4, he had nothing to do with it. And they were not particularly good.
Yeah.
They were awful, actually.
He's
the
guy. Yeah.
That is what drives Boondocks. That is what makes it pop. I am so excited to see his take on Black culture and Black society today in cartoon form, because it is outstanding. Just some of those episodes are just wonderful.
When they do the NBA on TNT, guys.
Yes.
Stacking paper to the ceiling. Ernie Johnson talking about
Shining. No, wait. No, that was the Ballin' episode.
Right.
That's Ballin' when Riley decides.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Decides to play.
So texters at 67129 talking a little bit about this. We got our one texter who is just a straight up hater. And he says, I mean, this is Silky Johnson texted in. You guys in the Memphis media have too high opinion of what mediocre Mike is worth. The market sets value, not the seller. CJ, who says mediocre Mike is a lead point guard, not the people that vote for all-star teams or all-NBA teams or Team USA, just the Homer Memphis media. Oh, that's right, CJ.
I'm sorry.
Don't ever apologize to this guy. This guy hates Mike. I mean, it's just pure and simple. There is, remember, people. I know.
How could you hate on Mike Conley that much?
This is what he does.
With all he's done.
People do. A lot of people do. It's weird. Memphis is a hating. There's a lot of hate in Memphis. There's a lot of hatingness in Memphis. Just it's there. Memphis is a hating town.
It really is.
It really is.
There are few cities that sports hate quite the way Memphis sports
and their own people.
Yes.
Hate. Oh yeah.
Yes. It just bleeds over.
Absolutely. So Mike, again, let's just think about this for a second. Like, Mike Conley is a very good point guard. Look, for example, at Kyle Lowry. If Mike Conley and Kyle Lowry's careers were flipped, is there any question that Mike Conley would have done the same thing that Kyle Lowry did? To me, the answer is no. It would have been a similar situation. If he had been on a team that had the capability of doing what that Raptors team did, he would have done the same thing. He is every bit the player. He's a much better defensive player, first of all. In terms of his offense, if you look at what he's done when he's been the focal point of a team or when he's had the freedom, he's put up big time numbers. So I have no doubt that he would have done very similar things to what Kyle Lowry did. But again, he wasn't on that team. And when Mike Conley was in his absolute, the biggest moments of his career, he was doing so in a too big, inside oriented, slow offense that he was not option A or B on many occasions. So who would have looked good in that offense? I mean, who would have put up major, big time, off the charts numbers? What point guard would have done that? They weren't a point guard heavy system.
Not like, and it's one thing to run pick and roll, right? Which I don't think the Grizzlies were interested in doing.
They ran some, but they was post heavy.
And again, if you run in pick and roll and you can throw a lob to somebody, that makes you look a little bit better. If that's how you can go about getting assists off of the pick and roll, like you're good. But that wasn't what the Grizzlies were doing. They were get the ball, make a couple passes, dump it into Zebo. Who the hell is that?
Zelo.
Dump it into Zebo down low.
J-Lo's long lost cousin.
Zelo.
And then let him go to work, or let Mike go to work in the high post or low post area. Like that was the offense. That is how they ran it.
Yeah.
It doesn't lend itself to a guard showcasing what all they can do,
because they didn't run that kind of stuff. And when they wouldn't run, it wasn't, again, you look at the stuff that like Chris Paul did with the Clippers and how he would just orchestrate the entire offense. That wasn't him. So what did you expect from the guy? He's not going to be able to put up those kinds of numbers. But in a different system, he would have. And then when you watched him get the offensive, when he had the chance to run the team, look at the 2017 playoff series against the Spurs. He was unbelievable in that series. Unbelievable. And look at the last few games this season when he was just, had the freedom just to kind of do his thing. Like, he put up big time numbers. He could do that. And teams, believe me, around the league, teams know how good Mike Conley is. Now, the question is going to be, at his age and with his contract, are you going to be able to part with major significant assets? I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, I don't think that's a knock on Mike Conley as much as it is just that's the reality of the situation. It's hard to trade. Chris Paul's an extremely good player, but are you going to give up a whole boatload for him at his age and given his contract and all that? Probably not. So just, you got to find a dance partner. And to me right now, I personally don't think that Utah, unless they're willing to push those picks out further, I just don't think Utah has a lot of assets that I would consider to be particularly great for the Grizzlies and for Mike Conley. I think you can do better. Indiana, for example, has been discussed. Anything involving Domantas Sabonis or Miles Turner, if they're available, is much better than what Utah can offer. If Boston wants to get involved, they could certainly make deals happen. I mean, there are teams out there. Feel free. Text in with your ideas. 67129. 67129. Come back. We'll talk to Omari, my man from The Athletic. He is next here on The Experience. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7 FM.
This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors, and I'm with my friend Marty Fulton, formerly of Plantation and Whispering Woods Golf Courses and a PGA Life member. Marty, my goal has always been to shoot my age.
Sheldon, not a bad goal as long as you live to be over 100.
Yeah, I know. I spend far too much time helping clients sell or buy homes to devote to golf. I'd be lucky to shoot par.
Sheldon, in real estate, you're way above par. That's why people often say when you want the job done, call Sheldon.
Thanks, Marty. People should always talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers when they're thinking of selling, and let me be one of them. They need to hear about my strategic marketing program with the Shellbucks option. That means the difference in whether they sit or sell. They can reach me at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. At 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. And go Tigers!
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test-driven, checked out from head to toe. Unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. from restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village. Just the other day, I stumbled across an incredible full-service paint store, Memphis Paint's Benjamin Moore store, located on the corner of Mendenhall and Poplar. I learned how to choose the perfect color from their very helpful staff. Benjamin Moore paints are cut above other paints, high-quality paints that last for years and are easy to clean. Memphis Paints has the largest selection of colors on your palette, so whether you're painting walls, bricks, or concrete, let Memphis Paints and Benjamin Moore help you make the change. Located 699 South Mendenhall, call today Memphis Paints and Benjamin Moore at 901-683-7369.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 87.7 FM, as well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app, and at home, tell Alexa or Google to play Sports 56. If it's happening in the world of sports, we've got it covered. Wherever you are, stay tuned to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and WPGF-LP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hertz. This hour is brought to you by Schrader Orthopedic and Stem Cell Treatment Center, specializing in stem cell treatment for your neck, back, hips, knees, shoulders, and autoimmune diseases. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Hour number 2 is here. Again, you can listen, you can go.
Yeah. I like what we're doing here.
Yeah.
I like this because this is immediately in my mental mind. It was, this is country, but I can hear
country.
Yeah, I can hear some
country at all.
It does sound country. No. It definitely sounds country.
It's not country,
but I can hear these soft rock elements there also.
Come on, man.
Now that is one of the great
Stevie Nicks,
soft rock icons.
Fleetwood Mac. Come on, you got
Stevie Nicks. Isn't Stevie Nicks country?
No.
See,
not really.
Wow, boom, y'all are blowing my mind because I always thought Stevie.
She could probably sing it if she wanted
probably.
to.
Yeah, she could probably if she felt like it, but not usually. No. You think of that? That's more classic rock. Again, classic rock, soft rock kind of. There's definitely R&B. There's a Venn diagram here of classic rock, country, R&B, and in the middle of all that, there's soft rock. Soft rock takes a little of all of those, kind of potentially, depending on, you could have some Alabamas, for example, or some of your Oak Ridge Boys, or some Dolly Parton, or something like that. Bellamy Brothers back in that could slide into soft rock. As a country, R&B, you could have your Heat Waves. You could certainly do that. You bring your Peebos, your James Ingrams. You can bring your Teddy P's in there. You could even bring
Teddy.
I mean, you could go.
I could see some Teddy Pendergrass songs
you could absolutely go on that.
Being soft rock.
And if you even want to go to a little more of a
Juice Jones,
I don't know about that. I might be pushing it, but like a Whispers, maybe.
Okay.
I mean, maybe. Some of those '80s guys, you could do that, and then on the classic rock, you just heard right there. I mean, you could. There's tremendous amounts of that. So Kansas and all those guys. So like, there's soft rock in. That's why it's America's finest genre of music.
Well, that is up for debate, but we'll do that another day.
It is up for debate, and the debate is won by people who say that it's the genre of music. I agree. You're absolutely right about that. Welcome back. Hi, Peter Edmiston. He is CJ Hurd. It is our number 2 of the program here as we are doing the thing. It is going to be scattered showers throughout the day, high in the mid 80s. But again, I would expect some humidity because of those showers. So bring some rain stuff, throw it in the car, just to be safe. Make sure you get your little umbrella or your rain gear, whatever it is that you wear or do when it gets raining. Make sure you got that taken care of. Today we're talking a lot about the news of the day, which is drunk Marc Gasol at the parade. That's always fun. And Mike Conley potentially getting traded. Apart from that, a fairly light day in the sports world. And you have the College World Series on
Michigan advanced.
But again, from my personal situation, I'm not super pumped about it. But Austin, if you want to give us an update on the College World Series, feel free.
I watched the game last night. That's about all I can tell you about it.
Okay.
I know Michigan won.
That was a personal update. That was a very personal update.
I like that.
I watched a game, and that's what happened. Okay. Fair enough.
I mean, I'm interested in it, but at the same time, I'm like, okay,
But you're
I'm more interested when it gets to the actual championship series.
That's fair. That's fair. No problem. In the Women's World Cup, Germany a winner over South Africa, China and Spain 0-0 draw, Norway a winner, France a winner as well. In the Copa America underway, Chile knocks off Japan on the men's side 4-0.
What?
U.S. in the Gold Cup starting today against Guyana. That is a must not lose game for the Stars and Stripes. The boys in red, white, and blue. Hopefully, take one from the ladies and actually start playing better because they've been playing like straight up doo-doo.
Okay.
Lately on the men's side.
So the Copa Americas, they went out and invited Japan. I know they invite two teams.
Yeah.
And
Oh, hey,
Japan
look
was
at you. Yeah.
Okay.
Look at you going with the. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. You know, international soccer is really interesting to me.
Okay.
And I can get into that.
Okay.
I could probably get into the other one, but
you could. I'm happy to I'm happy to introduce you.
Okay.
And I'm happy to introduce my colleague over at The Athletic. He is the one and only. He is Omari Sankofa. You can follow him on Twitter at Omari Sankofa. You can read his stuff at The Athletic, which you should because there's deals to be had out there right now. Omari and I have been busy writing stuff. Omari's been hitting it hard, writing about such things as Hasheem Thabit, about the Memphis Grizzlies, about Mike Conley, about all manner of draft and trade and everything else scenarios. And now here we are, just a couple days away from the draft. Good morning, Omari. How are you?
Pete, good morning, man. How's it going?
Wonderful, man. Wonderful. How you holding up?
Doing pretty well. I feel like things are starting to heat up. We get a coach last week, and then yesterday we get the Shams bomb. Is
that a bomb, really? Like a Shams, like a firecracker, a Shams, like a little Shams M80.
Yeah, it was a little Shams smoke bomb.
No smoke bomb.
You know, you just saw a little. There's something happening over there. I'm not sure what. Could be fireworks. Could be an actual fire. I don't know, but it's something. It's something. And after yesterday, we do know that something appears to be happening with Mike Conley. I think a lot of people probably figured that if the Grizzlies wanted an additional draft pick, they would get it done before the draft. But just a bit more substantial. And, you touched on it, but Jazz being a front runner is not super surprising given that they've been interested since February. But I am curious to see if they can actually put the best package together because I'm pretty skeptical.
What does that package look like? Like, what should the Grizzlies be trying to acquire for Mike Conley?
Picks and young players. I think at this point I would put picks and young players in some order, depending on the picks and the young players over cap relief, because they're going to have a good amount of cap relief next summer, potentially regardless, depending on what's happening with Jonas Valanciunas, and then of course Chandler Parsons coming off the books. But I think they need additional draft picks. They need to recoup some of the second rounders they traded away for Justin Holiday, and then of course they own that first round to Boston. So they just need assets, picks, young players. And I'm not sure that Utah has the best of either. They really just have one young guy, and Donovan Mitchell, who's appealing, who obviously they're not going to give him up. And you're looking at potentially one late 20s draft pick, maybe two. I think the Grizzlies probably want two, given that they wanted two in February and weren't able to get a deal where they could acquire two. So that's where they seem to be at right now.
See, I just can't, and this is the thing, Omari, like I keep coming back around to, I don't get this from the Grizzlies perspective, unless the Jazz picks are far enough out where they have a chance to end up being pretty good. If you're talking about the pick this year and the 2022 first round pick, for example. Okay. All right. Well, now I can get down with that. But otherwise, there's not enough player asset to make up for it. The Grizzlies did not want at the deadline. Now, I mean, I don't know if things have changed, whatever, but they had no interest whatsoever in Dante Exum. I mean, just not at all. He was a negative, if anything, because of his contract and lack of performance. So that's not a great thing. Grayson Allen is at best meh. Like that's about as good as you can get excited about with Grayson Allen. I mean, I have no interest in Derek Favors whatsoever with regard to him being an actual player, because you've got Jonas Valanciunas theoretically coming back, and there's an issue potentially with him. And Favors is very similar in that regard. We can put up big time numbers, but what position is he going to play, and what does that do for Jaren Jackson's development? So I don't know, Omari. To me, I'm skeptical about any player asset in this deal. I don't get it from the Grizzlies' perspective at all. So unless you're giving me some significant draft capital, I don't know why they're that interested in Utah.
I will say that I do like Derek's Favors, potentially. You bring him in for a year, and then I think that's more of a cap relief type of deal where he's making almost $17 million next year, and then he comes off the books next summer. And I guess before this Valanciunas thing happened, because now we don't know what he's going to do. But if Valanciunas were to come back for a 1-year deal, and then you have Favors, and then you have Chandler Parsons out coming off the books next summer, that opens up a lot of cap space, and that could potentially facilitate deals where you take on maybe some bad contracts, not terrible contracts, but some that teams are trying to get off of because they're trying to avoid paying tax money, and maybe you get a second-round pick, first-round pick back for it. So I think there's upside there for a Derek Favors deal. I also think that he's a great rim protector, and there's this debate: is Jaren Jackson a 4 or a 5? I think you put Derek Favors next to Jaren, even if it's just for a year, that doesn't matter as much, because I think that they complement pretty well on both sides of the floor. They both look like they can protect the rim. Favors moves in space fairly well. He's not quite as versatile offensively as Jaren, but he would allow Jaren to fold around the perimeter a bit more. I think we would get a better idea of where Jaren's true potential is, having a guy like Favors who can protect the rim, and you can play around with that, kind of figure out what you have in Jaren. So I see upside there, but I agree with you that from an asset standpoint, there just doesn't seem to be much uphill. It would have to be, like you said, a first-round pick far out enough to where maybe there's hope that it is in the 10 to 20 range, maybe, and then it would have to be more than one as well. If you're doing this deal for something like Favors, Exum, and a single first-round pick, I'm just skeptical that that's the best the Grizzlies can get.
What do you think the best the Grizzlies can get? Who are some young players that out there for maybe Indiana or Brooklyn or New York or Boston that you think the Grizzlies might be able to get if they entice those teams with a potential Mike Conley trade?
Well, Boston has 3 draft picks in this year's draft. I think, people have spun the idea of a trade centered around around Gordon Hayward. I'm not in love with that. I think from a money standpoint, you're taking on Mike Conley money and Gordon Hayward for 2 non-lottery picks. I'm not sure if that's the best you could do, but that may be better than the Utah deal. I think Boston have a pick in the 20s, and then they have a pick, a non-lottery pick in the 10s in this draft. That's not terrible. And then of course they also have Memphis's pick, which will likely be a lottery pick. And people, I've seen a lot of people say if they could get that pick back, that would be a pretty good get. So that's not a terrible option. You also look at, teams like Detroit, teams like Indiana that will be playoff hopefuls next year. Depending on Oladipo's progress, they're both sure best to make the playoffs, and you're getting a slightly better draft pick. Both teams have slightly better young players. Detroit has Luke Kennard. You have Sabonis in Indiana, where maybe his fit next to Jaren is a bit sketchy as well, but he is a better player than Dante Exum. That could potentially be better. It's tough to say exactly how the market looks now that there's sort of this arms race in response to the Golden State injuries and with the Lakers getting Anthony Davis. But just based on the teams we know that have had interest prior, I think Utah's probably fourth on that list as far as the assets that they can actually offer.
Yeah, and here's what I would encourage everyone to do. And this is what I think you got to game this out in your mind and start thinking about this from the Grizzlies standpoint. Like when people talk about player value, you have to think about it in terms of what does it mean for the Grizzlies right now, player value. Like this is where I'm just not in on Favors at all. It's not a knock on Favors. I think Favors is a very good player.
Right.
But it's the same reason I don't really think the Grizzlies should be signing Jonas Valanciunas to a long-term deal either. Because no matter how good that player is, like Favors, if he's good next year, so what? You're not going to win. You're not making the playoffs in all likelihood. I mean, barring a major jump from Jaren and Dylan Brooks and John Morant comes in, guns blazing and all that stuff. Okay, but that's unlikely. And in the meantime, if you're foreclosing on other possibilities to do that, what's the point? Then you're going to have to re-sign Favors to a big deal if everything works out really, really well. Well, okay, now what does that look like? That eats into your potential space and flexibility to do something else with that money down the line. I don't think, and again, that's a best case scenario. In all likelihood, they're not going to make the playoffs. It just makes sure that they convey the pick next year to Boston, which I guess is fine. I don't get any player in that age range and above as a next to Jaren type option going forward. I think the Grizzlies, they've always been scared, Amari, to embrace the rebuild. And maybe they just do that as a fail safe to try to make sure they have a certain amount of talent on the team. But whether you're talking about that or whether you're talking about like Gordon Hayward, again, I don't want that's Gordon Hayward's fine as a player, but you don't want to build. What are you trying to build? Like, what's the plan? So to me, it's, I've got to get younger assets for Mike Conley.
I agree with that. I will say, and kind of touch on Jonas Valanciunas, if they were to make a move for Derek Favors, I would certainly, I wouldn't want Favors and Valanciunas.
No, absolutely not. They're like the same player. They're a very similar player. I mean, Favors better defensive player, but I mean, they're very similar. I mean, what would you do with those guys and Jaren? I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
Right. And I think, that was some people were telling me last week, they have to bring Valanciunas back. They have to, plug Jaren Jackson's lack of rebounding. And I don't think the Grizzlies should be making any moves at this point based on Jaren Jackson's perceived flaws, or at least investing, upwards of $50 million into, players to cover Jaren's perceived flaws, which is what I imagine, JV will want in a potential deal, given that he gave up $17.6 billion guaranteed next year. But I agree with you overall. They need to prioritize the rebuild at this point, which I guess is just a better way of saying they need to prioritize losing. But I think more so than that, they need to prioritize not locking up money to guys who are not going to be a part of this potential future core, which I presume you're building around Jaren Jackson and Ja. Assuming that you're taking Ja on Thursday. And they need to get guys back who you can imagine being on the team in 5 years. I don't see any logic in tying up a lot of money now to try and put a somewhat competitive team on the floor next year. Like if you're going to do that, then why even trade Mike Conley?
Exactly. I mean, you want a semi-competitive team. You keep Mike for the next year or so. Maybe he opts out next year, which you could do theoretically, or maybe he doesn't. But either way, he would, as much as he would like to be moved, he's not going to, flip out and lose his mind. He's going to be professional. He's going to be a good mentor and all that stuff in the locker room. So, you don't have to go crazy if you're looking to do that. Again, this goes back, Amari, to what we talked about with Jonas Valanciunas. And I don't see a deal that makes sense for the Grizzlies and for Jonas Valanciunas long term. So I'm a little baffled by the move in general. Because I think if Valanciunas opts out with the idea that he's going to sign a long-term deal with the Grizzlies, well, if he's opting out of a $17.6 million deal next year, that means he's probably pretty confident that he's going to get a decent starting salary for the first year of a deal. Well, if that's the case, it's hard for me to see a deal that's structured 4 years plus for the Grizzlies, because they could do an extension 2 years, which would essentially be a 3-year deal. So if he's opting out, he could do a you really would probably do a 4-year deal if you're opting out. It's hard for me to see a 4-year deal that makes financial sense for the Grizzlies, not paying too much for him, and also makes sense for him to opt out, which leads me to believe, Omari, I fear that they're about to overpay Jonas Valanciunas for, I'm again, at this point in the Grizzlies arc, I'm not sure what, I mean, he's a very good player, much like Favors is a very good player. It's not knocking them as a talent. It's just what are they going to give you at this point in your career? And I wonder if they're about to do that with Jonas.
And yeah, that's not well. It's important too. And the Grizzlies and Valanciunas do intend to work toward a longer term deal. And you're right. That deal, I would have to imagine, would start at $14 million a year, because if Valanciunas had opted in to the $17.6 billion, you look at his 3-year earnings. A team-friendly deal, as far as extending him after that 17.6 next year, probably would have been something like 224, like $12 million a year for, a guy who's a very talented offensive player. And obviously was a fan favorite last season once he arrived. Like that 224 plus the 17.6, you put him at about, close to $42 million over 3 years, which is pretty healthy. Like that's an average of 14 a year, offset by paying 17 during that first year. So for him, it has to be either the additional year of security, which maybe it's a more team-friendly deal, but he's thinking something like $448. You net an additional $6 million. You have an extra year of making money, and for him, that extra year he values more so than making a similar amount of money in fewer years. But even so, that would artificially suppress his total earning power, because if you earn 42 through 3 years and hit free agency, at that point he would be 29 or 30. He's still probably going to get a pretty decent contract after that. So I definitely think that if they do reach a deal, it could definitely mean that Valanciunas is making, a pretty good amount of money, for 3 or 4 years, which, I don't fully see the logic in investing that much money into a center, given that, like this is a debate. I think Jaren Jackson is more of a modern 5 than a modern 4. I think from the pay to 4, you're probably splitting him down, and you're taking him away a little bit from some of his strengths, which is his ability to operate in the post and protect the rim. Because on both sides of the floor, you want Valanciunas near the rim. You don't want him floating around the perimeter, trying to defend opposing wings, or or shooting threes. Yeah, he hit some threes last year, but I don't know if he's ever going to be a knockdown 3-point shooter. So it's baffling. It's a little bit puzzling. I'm also curious to see if, depending on the potential trade they pull off for Mike Conley, if that interferes with whatever plan they currently have for Valanciunas, because presumably they aren't going to want to pay tax money next year. So I'm just curious to see whatever plan they have in place now. I think there's a good argument that it may be more worthwhile for them to just have that cap space next year that they would have ended up paying Valanciunas. So we'll see, but that was definitely puzzling, and just curious to see how much he ends up making.
Last thing, Omari, at the end of the day, do you think that they do a deal with Conley, some kind of trade prior to the draft?
I think it makes sense. I think if they want an additional pick for this year's draft, and they should, I think there's plenty of logic in getting an additional rookie into the system for next year. I think there's a good chance. I think teams are looking at what's going to happen with Kyrie Irving and D'Angelo Russell, which are the and I guess Kemba Walker as well. That's sort of the top 3 point guards on the free agent market this summer. And if a team is fairly certain that they're not going to get one of those 3 guys, or maybe just wants a more veteran guy, then I think you make a move for Mike Conley now. I don't see the logic in waiting until free agency. So I'm sure teams are kind of analyzing the market, figuring out what makes the most sense for them. But it makes sense for Mike Conley to be moved now. I'm sure that there are teams out there who, figure we need a veteran point guard who can come in and play now, come in and help us win a championship next year or the year after, which, probably gives them an edge over D'Angelo Russell, who is still young and hasn't been in too many winning environments. So I feel pretty strong that Mike Conley, will be moved before the trade deadline. But, obviously things are unpredictable and, stuff to say for sure.
You should read what Omari has written, along with Tony Jones, the Jazz beat writer for The Athletic as well. That's good stuff up. Also on the Sheemth Beat, there's some stuff on Taylor Jenkins. There's all kinds of stuff happening right now. And there's a 40% off code at theathletic.com/NBA offseason. So you can get 40% off right there. So there's just really no reason not to at this point. Go and do all of that. Omari, thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Omari.
Hey, thanks for having me.
He's the man. Omari Sankofa getting set for the draft in 2 days. But because, the Grizzlies, you kind of know what the Grizzlies are going to do, most likely in the draft. The attention at this point is shifting towards the Mike Conley stuff because, there's really no drama. I think everyone's excited about what's going to happen in the draft, but you kind of know what's going to happen in the draft, barring something extremely unusual. Well,
it happens.
You never rule it out, but
this would don't rule it out.
But it would be very, very unusual. Put it that way. Let's take a break. We'll come back and continue here on The Experience, Real Sports Talk Sports 56, 87.7 FM.
Where Memphis comes for real sports talk. Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Limb Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC accredited facility and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Limb Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselemondbrace.com.
Our life to yours. Wolf Chase Limb and Brace.
At Jason's Deli, you can stuff yourself full of great deli food that's healthy, fresh, and best of all, it's not expensive. Jason's Deli is all about choice. Whether you're looking for a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the build your own selections, Jason's Deli has you covered. And they only use fresh, wholesome ingredients. Choose from the club and specialty sandwiches, paninis, wraps, soups, salads, pastas, and much more. I love the cleanliness in the restaurant, the hospitality, and of course the cost. They have a huge salad bar and great soups, including Southwest chicken chili, fire roasted tortilla, organic vegetable, tomato basil, and many, many more. And if you're planning an event, their catering department is fantastic and can handle any size party. Go check out Jason's Deli's 4 locations. On Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, that's my favorite, on Germantown Parkway in Cordova, at Poplar and Highland, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch.
Campbell Clinic now offers daytime walk-in care, and you don't need an appointment. If you've got any kind of urgent break, sprain, strain, you can walk into any of their 5 convenient locations Monday through Friday from 8 until 4. There's no long wait you have to put up with the ER, and those doctors are really good, but they're not orthopedists. They're not world-renowned orthopedists who have come up with different procedures and written the manuals for them that are used everywhere in the world, and I'm not kidding you. And you can now see those doctors who treat the Tigers, the Grizzlies, the Redbirds. You can see them today without an appointment. And I'm talking Collierville, Germantown, South Haven, downtown at the Med Center, or even the Campbell Clinic Spine Center in Cordova. Now, if you've got something pressing, you got to go to work and you can bear the pain until the evening, there's Campbell Clinic After Hours. That's Monday through Thursday from 5 to 8 in Germantown, South Haven, even Saturday morning in Germantown. If you're injured, don't wait. Visit Campbell Clinic Walk-In Care or Campbell Clinic After Hours.
If you've always thought, hey, I'd look pretty good in a Lexus, well, guess what? Lexus thinks so too. Lexus is offering you the Golden Opportunity Sales Event. Great offers on all 2019 models and special lease options. Drive in luxury and confidence, knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by Lexus of Memphis, 2600 Ridgeway, and put yourself in the driver's seat of an all-new 2019 flagship LS500. Hey, you look pretty good there. Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event at Lexus of Memphis. Experience amazing. Gun enthusiasts in the Mid-South know all about guns and ammo at 3615 Summer and 577 Goodman Road, Suite 4 at the corner of Goodman and Elmore in South Haven, because they carry the largest selection of both guns and ammo in the area. They are authorized dealers of Colt, Benelli, CZ, Smith & Wesson, Glock, Ruger, Sig Sauer, Vergara, and a lot more. If you or someone you know is looking for something for self-defense, competition, hunting, or just something that goes boom, then get to Guns and Ammo, 3615 Summer in Memphis and 577 Goodman Road, Suite 4 at the corner of Goodman and Elmore in South Haven. The Can-Am Spring Fever event is on now with our family of off-road vehicles that are built for this. We're built for seeing the sunrise and for days lasting past sunset. We're built for trails, tasks, and tough times. And we're built to move you through what won't move. So how do you become built for this? By getting to the Spring Fever event at Olive Branch Motorsports, 5656 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and finding a brand new Can-Am off-road vehicle for a $3,000 rebate on select 2018 models for a limited time. Certain restrictions apply, subject to credit approval. See your dealer for details.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hertz. This hour is brought to you by Schrader Orthopedic and Stem Cell Treatment Center, specializing in stem cell treatment for your neck, back, hips, knees, shoulders, and autoimmune diseases. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Always and forever.
Each moment with you. With you, girl. Is just like a dream to me.
Beautiful dream.
That somehow came true.
Oh, this is the best concert I've ever been to.
Not today, but tomorrow.
Will still be the same.
Exactly the same.
'Cause we got a life of love.
So much love.
That won't ever change.
Never.
I mean, I don't know if we can keep doing this, but it's beautiful. That's one of my favorite.
I thought we were about to get 6 minutes of Peter and CJ.
We might. We could have. I could have gone all the way. Again, that's a beautiful karaoke song. I was singing that song during the break.
Yes.
Just ironically enough, that was amazing. Except I sang the chorus, which is where you really get.
Yeah. That's where it gets good. That is that chorus.
Forever.
That comes from your soul.
You gotta get
that
down
is
deep.
that, like, deep in there.
Oh, it's wonderful.
That is not diaphragm singing. That is like soul in the metaphorical gut.
Mm-hmm,
you go down and reach deep to hit that note.
You got to get it. I agree. I'm 100% on board with that. That's Heat Wave, by the way. Again, straddling soft rock versus R&B. Smooth, old school jam kind of thing. Yeah, absolutely. Welcome back. I'm Peter. He's CJ. This is our concert. We're going to just go sing the rest of the way.
Right here in the Family Leisure Studio.
Karaoke classics.
Yeah.
Man, that's a good song. Anyway, texters 67129 talking about this this Mike Conley situation. Texter says, I don't like all this trade for picks talk. Why don't the Grizzlies ever do anything ballsy and go for a big free agency coup? Well, last time I did that was Chandler Parsons. They were pretty ballsy going after Chandler Parsons, and I think you saw how that worked out.
Yeah.
As a free agency coup. There is a reason the Grizzlies are not in the market for big free agents. It's because big free agents don't want to come to Memphis. You have to prove that as an organization, you are a consistent winning spot. And even then, it's tough for a small market or a non-glamorous market. You know, Miami's not the biggest market, but it's glamorous.
Let's call it that. Glamour
markets. Because, like, it's not like Dallas has gotten a ton of free agents or Houston has gotten a ton of free agents. Chicago hasn't signed any. Chicago's huge. They haven't signed anybody. So it's glamour market is probably the right phrasing. But Memphis is certainly not that.
Right.
So you have to prove that you are a winning organization. Well, have they really done that? Not really. I mean, they had the core four and they didn't do much around them. And so they didn't have the best reputation in that regard. And they're going to have to show it. So over a few years, if you get to be good, then maybe you could start doing that. They can't do that now. Next year, when they'll have cap room, they will not have any opportunity to spend it on a free agent of note. And if they do get a free agent of note, chances are they're going to have to overpay dramatically to do so, a la Chandler Parsons. So,
I mean, it is.
That's why.
I understand right? But you're right. I understand why some might think, hey, clear some cap, get some money, and we can be mentioned in the race for some of these top tier free agents. And that's not going to happen when you're a team in Memphis that is struggling. Like, people might want to go to LA to play with the Lakers, but they're going. Lakers are struggling. It's been a while since they've been in the playoffs, but they're not going for what the Lakers are now. They're going for LeBron James, to play alongside LeBron James, and for what the Lakers have been in the past and what that market does for you from a branding standpoint. Same thing with the Knicks. They've been bad since 2000, right? But you're not going to New York because you think that's simply because you think that's a well-run franchise. You think you're going to win there. You're going because, like, yo, that market does something for me branding-wise that these other markets don't. And so that is why you go there. Memphis doesn't have that ability to improve your brand the way those two glamour markets do. So you're going to have to get good. You're going to have to prove that Jaren Jackson Jr. and the number 2 pick, Ja Morant, you're going to have to prove that those two young players are a piece away, a player away from doing something really special. And once you prove that, then you can have cap space, and then you can sell, hey, come to Memphis, we add you, we can be in an NBA Finals. We can go win a championship if we add you. But until you prove those two pieces worthy of that, big-time free agents aren't going to want to come here.
Yeah, I think ultimately you're going to – it just makes sense. There are typically 3 ways that teams can acquire talent. You can draft it. You can trade for it. You can sign it in free agency. Well, with the Grizzlies, I mean, big-time talent, you're not going to sign in free agency. So if you're ever going to get big-time talent, chances are you're going to have to trade for it, or you're going to have to draft it. And considering how difficult it is to trade for that talent, you just, as a Memphis, you need to hit your draft picks. That's just what you got to do. I mean, how did you get Jaren Jackson? You drafted him. I mean, that's not difficult. Like, if you draft well and you get big time guys, then you can build something special. How did New Orleans get Anthony Davis? They drafted him, and that put them in a position now, even though he's unhappy, to be able to trade him for a whole bunch and set themselves up for the next thing. Are they going to get Zion? They're going to draft him. How did Milwaukee get most of what they got? I mean, it all started with Giannis. They drafted him, and from there,
and they hit.
When you hit something that big in the draft, because the only way they're going to get MVP level player is drafting him, then you can start dealing with free agency. Now that Milwaukee's a good example, because now that they've hit their core, they are an attractive market for a free agent potentially. They sign, even then they're probably not going to sign like major guys. I mean, Chris Middleton's a free agent. They're probably going to bring him back, but maybe not. It's not a slam dunk there.
Right.
Toronto wasn't a slam dunk, even though Toronto's a huge city. So how do you get those guys? You got to either do what Toronto did and make a big time ballsy trade. Hard to do, but and you had to draft well enough to be able to get enough,
get the assets to pull that trade off,
right? Yeah. Or better yet, you just trade it and grow from there, which is what Milwaukee did with Giannis, Chris Middleton, and that kind of thing. And that's where you go. So it's not hard. It's not hard. At least the framework of it to actually do it is quite hard, but that's why the Grizzlies are not in the market for doing that free agency thing that people are talking about. Texter says, I would offer Conley to the Pelicans for the number 4 pick and a player. That's you're not getting the number 4 pick for Conley, and then they would have to, their cap space is probably going to be used elsewhere. So and on top of that, they just got Lonzo Ball and they've got Drew Holiday, so they're well stocked in the ball handling guard type positions.
And I mean, I think they're the front runners for the other ball children. If LeVar has anything to do with to get all
LaMelo's
three of them
LaMelo's playing.
LaMelo's going to Australia. Where's Jello playing?
Probably in Uzbekistan, I believe.
The Uzbekistan YMCA, Uzbekistan pickup game.
I think he's going to be in Uzbekistan.
He's going to be on like a
pro league,
in a pro league in Uzbekistan.
He's a good, solid, middle of the road Uzbekistani pro.
Okay,
I mean, that's the level he's at, probably.
Uzbekistan.
Yeah, I think
Where
so.
the hell is Uzbekistan? In addition to not really knowing the continent of Africa, we really don't know like Europe past Germany. Wherever West Europe ends.
Uzbekistan's not in Europe, so right out of the gate.
There we go.
So we really don't
There
even
we
know.
go. It's one of the stands. So it's over by Afghanistan and Turkmenistan and all of them.
Afghanistan is way
Down.
south. It's not. That's not one of the stands you're talking about. Afghanistan is a different stand.
Where in the hell is Uzbekistan?
Uzbekistan's in the Central Asia.
There were actually some Uzbekistan representatives at the 2-week drill I was at with my unit. That's one of our sister states in the Mississippi National Guard.
What?
Found that out while I was there.
When are you going to Uzbekistan?
I mean, I don't plan on going anytime soon, but that's part of.
When are you going to Uzbekistan, my man?
They were there. I mean, they were there along with the governor.
Yeah, the Uzbeks. The Uzbeks are good folks.
Uzbekistan has a governor.
No.
There?
Our governor was there hosting them.
Okay, now it's thrown off.
Yeah, Uzbekistan is lovely. It's lovely this time of year.
All right.
You know where Kazakhstan is?
No. Give me a big country and let's work our way.
You got Kazakhstan to the north.
Okay.
You got Afghanistan that you love to the south. Pakistan.
Whoa.
You're a big Afghanistan guy.
Of all the stands, I'm not supposed to love that one.
No, it's fine.
Afghanistan.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
But it's all you got the stands. You know, it's in that stand. As you got it. Stand area. There's a stand
So
group.
just outside of the Middle East.
You heard of Pakistan?
I have heard of Pakistan.
I mean, it's not too far away from the Middle East. So,
okay.
You know, it's near Iran at least.
See, I know where Iran is on the map.
Okay.
I can get to Iran.
Well, if you go a little northeast, then you're going to hit Uzbekistan.
Okay, so before I get to Russia, all those countries,
Well, you got to go through Kazakhstan, which is pretty big.
Okay.
But then you get to Russia.
All right.
If you're going northeast, can't miss it. Keep going straight.
Just keep
can't
going.
miss it.
Gotcha.
So all you got to do is get through Iran, and you're good.
Yeah. If you take the Google map, you know, I can Google map you take some directions from, Tehran to, of course, you know, the capital of Uzbekistan.
A lot of Rons and stands over there.
No, I have no clue what the capital is.
It's Tashkent. Come on, everyone knows it.
Is what?
Tashkent.
I thought you said cash.
Cashkent.
I was like, oh shoot, cash money millionaires over in Uzbekistan.
Yeah, cash money, Uzbekistan. So yeah, that's a little. That's probably where Lonzo or where Jello's going to be.
Okay.
Lonzo can play, LaMelo can play, Jello cannot, and you just have to kind of. You got to, much like all these stands, you got to get your balls right as well.
Okay.
You know, you don't want to get up at the wrong stand. You don't want to get the wrong ball on your team.
No.
But did you see LeVar Ball hit on the lady on first take the other day?
Yeah, Molly. Yeah, Molly.
Can we stop giving him airtime?
I've been asking.
What's it going to take?
I've been asking that for a long time. I don't know why we need to put this dude on there. He's a straight up clown. He is just a clown. Period.
I don't know why his clowndom offends you guys so much.
It doesn't offend me. It's just like you're there's no value
at all.
It's not even entertaining.
And it's only a matter of time before he says something really stupid.
But that's the thing is like, yeah, it's if he were entertaining, like, you know, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like Charles Barkley says outlandish things, but there is at least a baseline of knowledge and also entertainment value to Charles. There's no baseline of knowledge to LeVar that I'm aware of. And at this point, there really isn't much entertainment value other than just gawking at his
absurd comments,
ridiculousness. Yeah. So I mean, like, what's the point of that?
That I don't know. But he keeps popping up on my Twitter feed and on my Instagram feed and on my Facebook feed and on my TV. LeVar Ball, all over the place. We just seem to be cool with it. We just keep getting upset at it and pitting
I love how he says that Lonzo to the Pelicans was his plan the whole time.
It's always I don't know.
Whatever happens is this dude's plan. Newsflash. What it is there's two types of Americas. One type plays spades, the other type plays poker. Like, and we're not used. The poker players aren't used to the attitude that comes with a spades player. You've got to be talking trash the entire time you play spades. And it's got to be personal, and it's got to be outlandish, and it's got to be ridiculous. And if you're not accustomed to that, it shocks you. You're like, oh my gosh, why would he say something like that?
Yeah, but
what is he supposed to say?
But here's the thing though. If you're not, he's not good at playing spades.
No, he's not.
So why do we keep putting this guy on there?
Because the people who aren't accustomed to that find it fascinating.
It's not. There's nothing. But that's what I mean. Like you would think at this point, it's been 2 years. I mean, straight. I mean, how long? Forever. He's had the show. he's getting defrauded from this dude that's like he's costing his son millions of dollars. Like this dude is not a good dude. It's not like there's some wonderful dude behind the scenes he's not a good guy.
No.
So stop.
I agree, but it's not going to happen.
I mean, I'm preaching to the choir here, but again, this is what you support when you watch those kinds of shows, your First Takes and all that stuff with your Stephen. I love Stephen A, but I mean, this is just what he does. At least Stephen A's been there.
Yes.
Stephen A's been he's a reporter. Like he's got contacts. Stephen A says outlandish stuff, but he says it kind of tongue in cheek and a little wink and a nod. He kind of knows how to play the game. And Stephen A is a good dude, but LeVar's not a good dude. And is not a wink and a nod. He doesn't know how to play the game. He doesn't have any information. He doesn't have anything that's relevant. There's nothing there. So I get, just for whatever's worth, just stop it. Thank you. I've been on a personal LeVar Ball, I'm a moratorium on LeVar for forever, as far as I'm concerned. So I don't watch it.
You don't go to LeVar for my NBA news, my up to the minute information on what's going on in the NBA.
Good.
But if he wants to put the Sealy curse on somebody till you do right by me at the Lakers,
he doesn't have that power.
I'm here to chuckle at him.
He doesn't have that power.
No, he doesn't. But I'm here to chuckle at him. It's funny.
Ridiculous. All right,
it's definitely that also.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. More texts, 67129. Good stuff coming on the text feed. Keep firing those off here in the Family Leisure Studios. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7 FM.
Get happy with Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. Weekday afternoons from 1 till 3 on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
If you're looking for a new place to watch your favorite team or date night or guys or girls night out, check out Interim Restaurant and Bar. On the corner of Mendenhall and Sanderland, my favorite bar food was the deconstructed lamb shank tamale. The Interim Burger, they melt in your mouth and the fries are incredible. The Oyster Po' Boy, the short rib Philly, they have very generous portions. And get the John Harden hookup. Say my name, John Harden, Sports 56, and get 20% off bar food, 20% off premium well liquor, wine, and beer. Happy hour, 4 to 6, Monday through Thursday. See you at Interim 5040 Sanderland.
Are you tired of all the clouds and bad weather? Rain brings pollutants that can wreak havoc on your car's finish, but there is someone who can help. Car Wash USA Express has introduced their most advanced car wash yet with the exclusive Polymer Pro Wash, creating a stronger, more consistent protective sealant for your car's finish. Polymer Pro can only be found at Car Wash USA Express, where attendants are always on duty to keep you and your vehicle safe. For more information and locations, visit carwashusaexpress.com. Car Wash USA Express, because a dirty car is a dirty shame.
Plunge on into the Super Summer Sale at Family Leisure. Complete pools starting at only $12.99. 24-foot above-ground pools starting at $19.99 installed. 4-piece deep seating patio sets starting at $7.99. Holly Adirondacks 20% off. Spa starting at $17.99. Swim spa starting at $99.99. Family Leisure has great prices on all outdoor kitchens and pergolas. Lowest prices guaranteed. The Super Summer Sale at Family Leisure, Wooden Road at I-40.
Hi, folks. Rob Walker, Infinity of Memphis, and we've got a new Infinity crossover vehicle that has raised the standard of comparison to a new level. Imagine having both sports car performance and eco-friendly efficiency on demand, working together to empower every driving experience. The result of 20 years of engineering, QX50's award-winning variable compression turbo engine is the world's only engine of its kind. Like two engines in one, it delivers a combination of power and efficiency that is truly in a category all its own, and only Infinity has it. You'll never sacrifice performance for the sake of efficiency again. And QX50 MSRP starts at only $36,550, which is less than its Acura, Audi, and Mercedes competitors. Add to that QX50's award-winning sumptuous interior, and you have the best combination of performance and comfort in the mid-size crossover segment.
MSRP excludes destination charge, tax, title, license, and options. Infinity of Memphis or online at infinityofmemphis.com.
Looking good and feeling good? You've been to Rooster's Men's Grooming, the all-American classic barbershop. Whether boy or man, sportster or professional, when service matters, Rooster's is the choice for all gentlemen. Rooster's Men's Grooming offers a full-service shave, precision haircuts, and more, all with top-of-the-line products and a truly professional atmosphere. They even remember your name and offer you a beer. When looking good and feeling good matters, relax and unwind at Rooster's Men's Grooming, Paragon Place, 6300 Poplar.
Did you know Davis Motorhome Mart is one of the top 10 Tiffin dealers in the U.S.? Come tour the 7.5 acres of beautiful travel trailers, motorhomes, fifth wheels, and toy hauler towables half tons. Motorhomes from 27 feet up to 45 feet from brands like Winnebago, Coachman, Puma, Highland Ridge, and Tiffin. Take advantage of Davis Motorhome Mart's big blowout sale on 2019s and 2020s on their way. Stop by your gateway to travel freedom. Davis Motorhome Mart at 1145 East Brooks Road in Memphis. Call 901-332-3414 and cruise by the website, davismotorhomes.com.
Welcome back to the Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurd. This hour is brought to you by Schrader Orthopedic and Stem Cell Treatment Center, specializing in stem cell treatment for your neck, back, hips, knees, shoulders, and autoimmune diseases. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
This is per request. I don't know about this one.
Oh yeah, Precious and Few.
I had to call it request.
And it's it's great by Climax.
And if I can't find my way back home.
All right, so welcome back.
It just wouldn't be fair.
Okay.
Didn't go as long with that one as you did last.
I mean, again, it's only out of love for the listeners that I don't, because we could just make this an entire karaoke show.
We should.
Can you tell the people real fast before we get back to the text line what you have orchestrated for tomorrow?
Oh yes. Yes, we are going to have animals, live animals in studio tomorrow.
We have CJ texted me with this idea, and I said, "Huh?" And then I was like, "All right."
Andy Williams, general manager out at Lichterman Nature
Center.
Nature Center. I'm so excited I can't talk. He's going to come on with us tomorrow at 8:30. He said he's going to bring in a couple of turtles for us to pet, some snakes as well. It's going to be a good time for all.
Are you bringing snakes in the studio?
It's going to be sick and tired
of these
bleepity bleep snakes in this bleepity bleep studio. Bleepity bleeps. They're going to be all in this studio.
That was yippee-ki-yay, Mother Nature. That's what we say to that.
So, yeah.
I thought for a minute you might be doing Samuel L. Jackson there from Snakes on a Plane.
Oh, we were. That's exactly.
Oh, okay.
For a second, we were.
Tired of these Mother Nature snakes.
Mother Nature.
No, I think it is Mother Nature when it comes on like TBS or
I think
something
it's Mother
like that.
Father.
They'd be better off just like
You
not even
mother
putting a
father.
word in there. The replacement words are worse.
Oh. Mother and then father like that. We're not going to go after mother without me slipping up. Without that.
Very difficult.
Yes. No. So that'll be going on.
So we got snakes.
What kind of snakes are we talking here? Because I might not show up in the morning.
I don't know. I didn't ask. I should have stopped to ask.
LeVar Ball?
Jason Kidd?
Jason Kidd.
I don't know. But I'm assuming that.
So you're bringing some legit snakes.
Some safe
I'm
snakes.
not bringing them.
King cobras?
Who?
Boa constrictors, stuff like that?
No. I hope not. I hope
Turtles?
it's not boa.
Turtles? I mean, this is
So
so this
you can't walk in with like a box shell turtle and then have a giant boa constrictor in the other hand.
So,
like
I've seen it. You never know.
All of this is to tell you that you should really be watching on Facebook tomorrow.
Yes. Tomorrow. You should watch every day, but certainly tomorrow.
Certainly tomorrow.
Tomorrow at 8:30 is going to go down.
Because you're going to have to hear it. I mean, we'll hear on the air, but you could see it.
As Kevin Hart would say, it's about to go down.
Is that what Kevin Hart would say?
That's what he would say.
Okay.
CJ, am I right on that?
I don't know.
Pretty sure I've heard him say that before. You struck me as the Kevin Hart type. You seem like you like Kevin Hart humor. You don't watch Kevin Hart?
I do.
I was gonna say you seem like you like Kevin Hart's comedy shows.
Yeah. Kevin Hart is cool. He's all right with me as far as stand-up comedy goes. He's cool.
He's fine.
He's smooth. He's all right. Not my favorite, but he's.
We still like Cat Williams. Are we okay with Cat Williams? Or?
Yeah, you
Cat's
Cat Williams
problematic lately. I don't know.
I love Cat Williams.
I love Cat.
I love Cat Williams. Got to rein it in off the stage, but I am here for Cat. That beef has seemed to cool down a bit. I think.
I hope so. Texter says LeVar is a charlatan. Agreed.
That is exactly what LeVar is.
Texter says LeVar's not a good dude. He screwed his kids' lives up. Where was the mom when he decided to send these two kids overseas? LeVar Ball screwed his kids up so bad.
Mom was spending that money.
What was mom?
I think mom is like really sick.
Yeah, I think mom she was sick. I know she was sick for real.
Sick of him, probably.
Yes. Texter wants to know, will we be able to see the animals on Twitter? Yes, of course. Facebook. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're bringing the animals to you.
Yeah, you can follow the stream on the Twitter also.
Yeah. We're gonna make it happen. Texter 67129 wants to know about why not draft RJ Barrett. Well, we'll talk about that later on.
Okay.
We'll get into some of that. Also, some of these other texts about the possibilities from trades. We'll get into those too. What the trade offers could be, what you could get, all that sort of thing. A reminder: you could get some ribs, you could get some brisket, you could get pulled pork, you could get smoked turkey, you could get wings, you could get any of those things, and you don't have to trade anything for it, except a little money. That's it. You have to trade any of your goods, services, and that stuff just trades a little bit of money. That's all you got to do, and not even that much money, considering the quality of what you get. That's what Central Barbecue is all about.
You're gonna win that trade.
That's always a win,
and forever.
That song was about the wings. A lot of people don't know that because they're so good. You just want to sing a ballad to them.
Okay,
sweet baby making ballad to those wings. That's why they call them baby back ribs.
Oh,
a lot of people don't know that. That's
okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
All right. I like that.
You eat them. Time to have a baby. Makes you feel good. That's all I can tell you. That may be their new slogan. I don't know.
You eat them. Go make a baby.
That's right. That's it's good. It's real good. Central Barbecue. That's all I got to say. 4 locations. Go now. Well, not now. I don't know if they're open quite yet, but go soon. How about that? Downtown, on Central, on Summer, East Memphis. You're going to love it. It's Central Barbecue. Back after this, hour number 3 on the way. Stick around. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7 FM.
A young man went off to college. Apparently, his mother had packed his suitcases. Everything was ready. In the process of putting his clothing in drawers, he discovered 2 long, narrow pieces of cloth among the shirts, socks, and underwear. They were neatly folded and ironed.